Charles Barkley, former NBA player, host for the best show on TV inside the NBA, and a friend of the show here on The Better Angle. Chuck, how's your summer been going?
My summer's been great. I don't do a lot during the summer. I kind of lay low and just play golf every day. So I've had a great summer. I mean, it's been incredible. I'm actually down in Atlanta at the Tour Championship as we speak. But I kind of don't do a lot. I like to obviously play golf every day. So amazing summer.
Yeah, and you deserve it, Chuck, because you work your tail off throughout the winter months and also for the NBA season to just enjoy your summer in golf and just do whatever you want to do just to clear your mind and get ready for another season, man. So that's great to hear. So you know that obviously with The Better Angle and what we do is betting, and we know that you are a very big fan of betting and putting some wagers down because Kate and I were mentioning in the first hour about week 0 and some of the craziness that we've seen already. So we just want to know from Chuck's bet slips, did you have any bets put in for week 0? Who do you got?
No, I think it's very difficult to bet right now because you don't know anything. I think the stupid polls. I think the polls they're going by what happened last year, and that makes zero sense whatsoever. I mean, so I think I kind of just sit back and kind of wait before I get really heavy involved. Kind of like the NFL season. Like, we don't know who's going to be good this year until after. I always tell people, like when I play in the NBA, every team think they got a good team until they 5-20. Going into the NFL season is the same. Same with college. I don't even think they should do a poll until like after the first month of the season. Because nobody knows, especially if a team's got a brand new quarterback. Obviously Texas, people like Texas is going to be great. Well, we think they are, but we don't know. And also, we don't know what Ohio State's going to be. They lost a ton. I mean, they got probably the best player in college. But other than that, we have zero idea what Ohio State's going to be. So I kind of watched a little bit today of the Iowa State-Kansas State game, and that was the first upset of the year because, that's what I'm saying. They're going by what happened last year, and nobody knows going into a season what you're going to have until you get started.
Yeah, I mean, if you bet Iowa State today, you made yourself a little pretty penny. Chuck, you, Ernie, Shaq, Kenny, appointment viewing when you guys are on. Do you have any idea where you're going to be doing inside the NBA from this year?
Well, we're going to, obviously our show got sold to ESPN. It's going to be interesting. We're going to be still doing the show in Atlanta, but I think we're all kind of like, how's this thing going to play out? And, I've been asked that question 1,000 times. I'm like, I don't have any idea. I mean, we think our show is going to be similar or the same, but going to another network, we don't even know how that's going to work because you have to factor in, like, obviously I'm a big fan of ESPN. I think they're the greatest sports network ever. But, like when they do a game, they have to rush off the network to go to Sports Center. And we're trying to figure out, are we going to, like, our best stuff is 45 minutes after the game, we can just have some fun. But are they going to say, hey, you guys got 5 minutes or 15 minutes, and then we got to go to Sports Center? So we don't know. But, hey, the deal's been made, and when October the 22nd get here, we're going to be ready to go. But we have no parameters of what the show is going to be. So that's a little bit disconcerting, to be flat out honest with you. But, hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, and you got to make it do what it do too, Chuck, right? Because we know that you guys will be ready to go, but will ESPN be ready to go for you guys and be able to really have that show? And a lot of fans, including Kate and I, will want to see inside the NBA where you are on TNT and have that same type of feel, energy, and just the freedom that you guys have. So I'm sure that that's a big concern for you and the crew going into this new journey, really, with ESPN.
Yeah, 100%. But I think the main thing, we were able to keep a couple hundred people's jobs, because obviously we thought it was over. And I think me, Ernie, Ken, and Shaq were fine because, I was negotiating with NBC and Amazon, so I was going to find a home somewhere. And because we all thought we were going to be free agents. And then this thing with this thing with ESPN came out of nowhere. because I had several meetings with NBC and had several meetings with Amazon. I was going to go one of those directions because we thought it was over. And then, like I say, give TNT their props and ESPN their props that we were able to salvage the show. And like I say, the main thing, we were able to keep everybody employed, which is the number one priority for me, Ernie, Kenny, and Shaq. And I think we got a best case scenario, to be honest with you. But like I say, we still going to have to figure out how this thing going to work over at Espen.
Chuck, the Lakers are going to be an intriguing team next year. For one, you have skinny Luka Doncic. He looks like he's lost a lot of weight and he's going to be in shape. But also LeBron, just at the age that he is. How do you think things are going to end between LeBron and the Lakers?
Well, LeBron's going to have to move on at some point. I mean, it is what it is. He's been there. Even though he's been putting up good numbers, they haven't been successful in probably 4 years. But at some point, it's already probably Luka's team now. You don't trade for Luka Doncic and give him all that money, and it's not his team. But the West is going to be intriguing. I mean, obviously, Oklahoma City is the team to beat. I thought that. Listen, I think the Rockets and the Denver Nuggets probably had the best summer as far as trading. I mean, obviously, you go out and get KD with that young team they got. That's going to be intriguing. The Nuggets finally got Luka some help. They had traded away all his players in the last one. Once they won the championship, it seemed like they went into cost-cutting mode, and it kind of screwed him the last couple of years. But they had a great summer. The Lakers are going to be interesting. But, listen, it's all about OKC, the Rockets, and the Nuggets. If I had to pick 1, 2, 3 in the West, like, the KD thing going to be fascinating down in Houston. And like I say, my man Jokic, he's the best player in the world. And like I said, they finally went out and got him some help. So, but the Lakers are going to be fascinating. But it's Luka's team, and it's going to be a lot of pressure on him the next few years. And let me tell you something. That Dallas Maverick team, they might be the second best team in the West if they could ever get healthy. Obviously Kyrie's going to come back mid-season, but if AD can get healthy, and that boy Cooper Flag, he's the real deal. I looked at him a lot in college when I was getting ready for March Madness. He's the real deal. But the Mavericks might be the second best team in the West if they're healthy. So, man, the West. And listen, I don't even want to mention the East because let me tell you something. You can stick because I tell people, you can stick about 5 teams in a hat, and I could pull out one of those 5 teams and say, you know what, you might be right. And I'm starting with my Philadelphia 76ers. If they were to get Paul George and Embiid healthy, they might be the favorites in the East. You could make a good, somebody could say, yes. I said, what about the Knicks? I can see the Knicks winning the East. I could see the Orlando Magic winning the East. Probably the most improved team in the East might be the Atlanta Hawks. I mean, obviously the Jason Tatum thing and getting rid of Porzingis and Drew Holiday, that kind of kills the Celtics. Losing Miles Turner and Halliburton being out for the year, that kind of kills those 2 teams. But, man, I think the NBA is going to be very interesting and fascinating next year.
Yeah, Chuck, you led me right into the question I was going to give you about the Eastern Conference and just how it's really up for grabs. And you talk about your Philadelphia 76ers on BetMGM right now. For them to win the East, they're 13-1. So, in my opinion, if they can stay healthy, that's a great bet. You talked about the Orlando Magic. These are a couple of the teams that are like 5th or 6th and on that odds boards. The New York Knicks are second behind the Cleveland Cavaliers, but we could very well see, with the exception outside of the Cavs and the Knicks, 4 different teams finish in the top 6 than what we saw last year in the Eastern Conference. So how intriguing for you are the Orlando Magic? Because it felt like with the trade for Desmond Bane, they pushed a lot of chips in to say that Desmond Bane basically is the missing piece for this team. And obviously Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner, I think that young front court is very dynamic. But what are the chances that you give the Magic to really make a push for an appearance in the NBA Finals?
I don't know about the finals. If I had to pick right now knowing what I know, I'd probably make the Cavs the favorite. In my opinion, I'd probably make. God, that second one's going to be tough.
Yeah.
Like I say, and even if the Cavs are healthy, if Joel Embiid is healthy and Paul George, I would put some money on the Sixers. But that's a big if. Embiid hasn't been healthy in 5 years, and Paul George is getting older. Orlando's intriguing. They're still very young. But I would go Cavs, Knicks. I would go Cavs, Knicks. Probably Orlando is 3 or 4. But I don't think they're going to win the championship because I wouldn't pick them to beat the Cavs or the Knicks in a 7-game series.
Well, that's actually where they sit on the odds boards to win the East. The Cavs are 1, the Knicks are 2nd,
He's a
and the Magic
man.
are
What do you
3rd,
know?
Chuck. Listen, going out getting Bane, one of those Wagner bars is probably going to be out next year or half the year. But like I say, they still a very young team. So they haven't really made any noise, honestly. But, no, I wouldn't go against the Cavs and the Knicks. The Knicks got a new coach now, so that's going to be – it's always an adjustment when you get a new coach. But – listen, my Cavs let me down so much last year. I'm hesitant. I had them as my team to beat all year. Everybody was on the Celtics. I said, man, there's something missing with that Celtics team. And then then Jason got hurt, and like I say, they're rebooting. I mean, when you get rid of Porzingis and Drew Holiday, Jason's going to be out most of the year. So I'm going to rule them out because they're rebooting. But the Cavs should be the favorites. But like I say, the most intriguing team is going to be my 76ers. Because, Joel Embiid's the MVP, man. If he's healthy, and like I say, Paul George, because my man Maxey, I love the kid they got from Baylor in the draft. They're gonna get the kid back from Duke. I can't think of his name right now.
Jared McCain.
McClain, yes. McCain or McClain, one under two, same guy. You know what I'm talking about.
We got you, yeah. Chuck. We got you.
Let me tell you something. If Embiid and Paul George healthy, I don't think anybody would be shocked if my Sixers made it to the finals. But the Cavs are going to be favored. Atlanta Hawks had a great summer. Atlanta going to be much improved. But like I say, I told you earlier, I can put 5 teams in a hat, and we can all make up some, they could actually win the East.
Yeah, it's kind of wide open, Chuck, next year in the East. Charles Barkley.
100%.
Here on the Better Angle, 11-time NBA All-Star, Hall of Famer, host of Inside the NBA. Chuck, Bill Belichick. Going back, I'm switching gears here. Going back to college football, Bill Belichick starts next week, TCU, UNC. You're very close with him. How do you think things are going to go for him? And we're short on time, so just a couple minutes.
I think it's going to be great. He's the greatest pro football coach ever. I think he's going to be able to win with less, because I don't know how many, 5 stars and blue chips guys they got on their roster. I think they got, it's going to be kind of like, if you go back to Colorado, Deion's first year, he had like 40 transfers, and it worked out pretty good for him. And Bill's the greatest coach ever. I mean, Nick Saban's the greatest college coach ever. Bill's the greatest pro coach ever. I'll be shocked if he doesn't have success. I mean, totally shocked. And obviously, I'm biased. He's a great friend of mine. He's been a great friend of mine going back when he was coaching the Browns. That's how long we've been together. And I'll be shocked if he's not successful. I mean that. And like I say, you know what? 8, 9 wins, because I don't think the schedule is daunting. That conference is not. That's not the SEC or the Big Ten. Mm-hmm. And he gonna win games by coaching. He doesn't have to have the best players. He's gonna have, like I say, he don't have to have the best players.
No, he doesn't. And it'll be fun to watch him and kind of what goes on with that team this year. Chuck, we appreciate your time. Thank you so much for joining us. If you're ever in Chicago, let us know. You can come by the studio. We'd love to have you.
Hey, I can make that happen. That's my second favorite city in the world.
Hey,
there we go.
We would love to have you. We will talk to you again soon. Enjoy the golf today.
Okay, yeah, y'all guys have a great weekend, and go Bears.
Go Bears. That's right. That's Charles Barkley.